Pandemics are not new to us. We have seen sicknesses before that has spread throughout countries, sometimes throughout the globe, in ways that really affected high groups of populations. But never in our modern history have we ever encountered a pandemic like the coronavirus that has systematically shut the world down, that has completely disconnected families, where we have loved ones who are dying within the hospital, who are unable to have any form of physical interactions with those they love on the outside. This is causing both pain on the outside and on the inside for those involved. So, with that being said, my name is Jay Jacobs, and I would like to propose that government sanctions be used in order to prevent further sickness that comes from the coronavirus, or at the very least prevent its spread until we have a greater chance of finding a vaccine that could really affect the population and save as many as we can from the horrible fate that has befallen so many up till now. According to an article done by CQ researcher titled Pandemic Threat, health officials have been noted to say that if we were to get a severe enough pandemic, that we are unprepared for it, and thus we could suffer the loss of up to 30 million people if gone unchecked. And according to Worldometers, currently 4 million people around the globe have been infected with the coronavirus. It is now believed that America has the highest known amount of cases in the entire world currently. The reason why this is such a significant problem is because this does not just affect the elderly as once predicted. This is now affecting children, young adults, those in their middle ages, all across the globe, especially in the United States. This is no longer something that we can just pass off as something that just affects the elderly and go on, when there are many people dying at this current moment. Even our health care professionals are not safe from this. Many of them are ending up patients themselves after treating those who are sick. Additionally, even if you are diagnosed with the coronavirus, it does not guarantee admission into the hospital. What they're mainly going to check is if whether or not you're having severe enough symptoms, if you're asymptomatic, in which case they're going to recommend that you go home and self-quarantine. Right now, many hospitals are filling up, and it's getting very hard to take care of all the patients that they are receiving. I have now heard many tales from pastors such as T.D. Jakes, a very well-known public figure, of people calling into him crying, screaming, because they cannot see their loved ones who are currently dying in the hospital. They cannot get to them in their final moments. They have to deal with the fact that their mothers, grandfathers, brothers, sisters have to die alone, and the best thing they have is a computer screen to say goodbye to them. This is not just something we can just wave away, because people are really suffering. Currently, there is beginning to be a lot more opposition to the imposed self-isolation lockdown. Understandably, there are many people who are afraid because many jobs have been lost. Many business owners are now taking a very significant hit to their business and the ability to provide for their family. So there is definitely a case to be made. Not only that, there are those who would say that this self-isolation is an imposement on their freedoms and that the government has no right to do this. An understandable perspective. But the question that I would have to ask is, what happens if it is your mother, your son, your brother, who, even if you were immune to it or asymptomatic, the fact that you could still be a carrier and infect those who are susceptible to it? That is the main driving force of why I believe that it is necessary for the government to continue to impose a sanctioned lockdown, in which case we still provide more support to those who are really being impacted and are suffering from this. I am suggesting that we continue the lockdown as it is right now up until the end of summer. I would say to the end of August. This way we give enough time for the virus to halt its spread and give us a chance to potentially find a vaccine or a way of slowing it down or helping those who have extreme symptoms, while still allowing businesses that are considered necessary to operate and potentially ones that deal with delivery to still continue on running. In addition, we could possibly allow some exemptions to businesses on a very limited basis to allow customers to come in. But once again, I believe this lockdown is definitely necessary, and I believe it should be imposed by law enforcement officials and government ordinances to ensure that everything is followed and all citizens remain safe. And I believe this can be enacted through a vote of Congress. Also, I believe that additional stimulus checks, perhaps even one for 2,400 to cover the next 2 months within the summer, may be necessary in order to ensure that citizens are able to get the materials they need in order to stay safe. Additionally, I believe that eviction notices or anything that could put somebody's housing in jeopardy be halted, and that no evictions can be made until well after this lockdown has taken place. I would say up until 3 months afterwards. And the way I believe we should inform our citizens is via the news, the internet, as well as mailing services. Just to ensure everyone is aware of the rules, everybody's aware of what the situation is, and why it's happening the way it is. So, in conclusion, because of what we've seen, because we still see that this virus is still rising, people are still suffering, people are unable to see their loved ones, that I believe that this is the best course of action to continue to have people self-isolate and practice social distancing for the betterment of the society. Additionally, I do not condemn anyone who feels that this is an infringement upon their rights or that their business is suffering and that, the economy could be much better if we opened up now. It's understandable. I understand that people need to take care of their families. But I wanted to express to you that what happens if through this opening up, that is your son, your daughter, your grandfather, grandmother, that because of this contracts the virus and has to suffer the same things as those who have come before. With that being said, thank you for listening to my proposition, and I wish you all safety and health as we go through this time of crisis. Thank you.